Live visuals coming in. Let's just cut across to those first. I will come back to you in just a minute. As you can see the visuals on your screen, Prime Minister Modi's plane has touched down in Dhaka. This is his first visit, as we mentioned, since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. He is the guest at Bangladesh's celebrations for its 50th anniversary and 100th birth anniversary of its founder, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. On your screens, you can see Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is at the venue as well. She will be welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the next 2 days in Bangladesh. He is now going to be meeting Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, and he will participate in the celebrations as well. He will also visit Sheikh Mujibur's grave outside Dhaka, along with the temple and a shrine of Mathua community. He will also visit Tangipura, the family village and home of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He will offer prayers at the Yashorivari Kali temple, and right now on your screens, as you can see, Sheikh Hasina is there. His 2-day visit has kick-started, and this is his first visit since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the main message from Modi's visit will be to reaffirm the high-level relationship. You can see he is there on your screens right now. And Prime Minister Modi's visit is to reaffirm the high-level relationship with Bangladesh and celebrate the 2 anniversaries. People-to-people relations are expected to get a big boost from this visit in Bangladesh. They are also expected to sign a couple of agreements during this visit. And you can see Prime Minister has arrived, and he is being welcomed by Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister of Bangladesh. This is going to be a long day for the Prime Minister. He has kick-started his 2-day visit. Today, later in the day, he will be part of the celebrations. He will also hold talks with President and Prime Minister. He will then also be visiting the grave of Sheikh Mujibur there. Now, today is an important day because India is likely to announce new partnerships with Bangladesh on startups. The 2 countries are exploring a startup conclave to incentivize partnerships in the region for wider prosperity in this region. On your screens are the live visuals coming in from Dhaka, where Prime Minister Modi has arrived and has been joined by Sheikh Hasina. Now, as you know, later in the day, he will be participating in the Golden Jubilee celebration of Bangladesh's independence and the birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. This will be a couple of hours from now. He will also attend the National Day program in the second half of the day. Let's just listen into these.
Attention, Mangat! Asrame! Asrano! Guard is ready for inspection, Your Excellency.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Dhaka. He has been greeted by Prime Minister of Bangladesh Sheikh Hasina. Now he has a long day ahead of him. He will be holding talks with the Prime Minister and also President Abdul Hamid. They will be participating in the Golden Jubilee celebration of Bangladesh's independence and birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. That, as you can see, that is Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Dhaka at this very moment. These are the live visuals on your screens. A couple of hours from now, he will also attend the National Day program. That will be, of course, in the second half of the day. This is his first visit since the pandemic broke out. Before his departure, actually, he released a statement where he noted the deep cultural and linguistic ties between the two countries. And we're now joined again by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal. Siddhant, thank you so much for staying with us. You can see Prime Minister Modi is there. He has been greeted by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Now he has a long day ahead of him.
Well, it's a long day, it's a packed day, but we saw the visuals, of course, will reverberate through history. The national anthems of India and Bangladesh both being played. In fact, this is something which is well known, that both the Indian and the Bangladeshi national anthems have been written by Rabindranath Tagore. So that shows the commonality between India and Bangladesh, a much celebrated one, something that we will see more in next few hours and in next 2 days, whether it's here in Dhaka, where there will be celebrations of Bangladesh's Independence Day, the 50th anniversary, or whether it's outside of Dhaka at the Shakti Peeth, whether it's Orakhandi, or whether it is Tungipura Para, where, of course, the mausoleum of the father of the nation of Bangladesh is, where the homage will be paid by the Indian Prime Minister. So a lot of symbolism we will see during this visit. And first of those symbolism we saw at the airport. And of course, one significant part is that the Bangladeshi Prime Minister herself was present at the airport to receive the Indian Prime Minister. That, of course, is something that shows the protocol that Bangladesh is giving to the Indian Prime Minister.
Now, over the course of these 2 days, there are a lot of announcements to be made, a lot of pacts to be signed. They are expected to sign a couple of agreements, particularly on disaster management and trade as well.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Well, of course, we will see those pacts being signed at the various press statements. But largely, if you pointed out a disaster management, this is something, an area where both sides are working regularly, because we know the cyclone season is something that has been devastating for the Indian states of Odisha, for West Bengal. There was a cyclone just last year. We know the devastating cyclone Amphan. And then, of course, Bangladesh was also majorly impacted, because, yes, there are political boundaries between countries, but nature does not follow that. So clearly both sides are working on that in terms of making sure that in case of a natural disaster, both sides can come together for a common cause. One thing to point out that way back in 2004, when the tsunami struck, something which was the most devastating natural disaster to struck the entire Indian Ocean region, the Indian Navy was dispatched to make sure that Bangladesh, if it needs any kind of help, India can provide, and India indeed provided a lot of help to Bangladesh at that time.
Right, Siddhant. Of course, Prime Minister Modi has a long list of things to do today. Now, he has been received by Prime Minister of Bangladesh Sheikh Hasina. He's now being introduced to the presentation line. Then he will be, of course, attending the ceremony at the National Martyrs Memorial. There will be wreath laying, visitors, book signing. There will also be a planting of sapling event that will happen today. Lots to happen. And joining us for more on this, we now have Shantanu Mukherjee, who is a retired IPS and security analyst. Thank you so much for joining us. Prime Minister Modi has arrived. He has been received by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Now, it is a very long day for him. There will be celebrations in the later half of the day. They are likely to sign pacts in sectors such as health, railways, border infrastructure development and startups. What can you tell us about this and the other agendas for this meet?
Well, thank you for calling me. This visit is a milestone as it seeks to strengthen the bilateral ties between India and Bangladesh. Prime Minister Modi's participation in the twin celebrations of the Golden Jubilee of Bangladesh's independence, as well as Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, father of the nation's centenary year, will go a long way. And like you said, that Sheikh Hasina broke the protocol and received, and so many pacts are lined up. These are all there. But we must analyze it in the sense that it's really a wonderful thing for the Indian Prime Minister to be physically present at the celebrations. And more significantly, this is his first trip overseas after being in the lockdown for the last 1 year. What does that imply? It implies how much importance does India attach to its friendliest neighbor in South Asia, that is Bangladesh. This is one. Number two, Prime Minister Modi's visit to Tungipara, that is the birthplace of Sheikh Mujib and also where he lies buried, is important. His visit to two Hindu temples in Satkhira and Gopalganj, equally significant. And now you talked about the disaster management. Indeed, soon after its independence in 1971, 74 as an independent country in Bangladesh experienced catastrophic natural adverse conditions, and India went to its aid. Then in 91 again, there was a big cyclonic disaster in the Chor area. India, out of its commitment towards Bangladesh, had helped a lot. This time, in a formalized or institutionalized agreement between the two countries, India again stands, and with the modern scientific technical know-how and India's disaster management structure well ensconced within India, will be in a position to help Bangladesh in addition to the military helpline in terms of Indian Navy, Coast Guards, etc. So disaster management is wonderful. It will go a long way in addition to the other. So this visit is indeed significant and it's very historic.
Yes, on that note, actually, trade and oceanography will be given special focus as well now, and adding new areas of cooperation such as culture and preservation of the spirit of 1971 will also be explored. Could you just walk us through this?
Yes, please. Now, oceanography, as you all know, India is very ahead and equipped with a lot of technical know-how, scientific know-how. That India was one of the first countries in the 80s itself when the Antarctica expedition went there, oceanography. The best of oceanography India had learned. So this will further deepen cooperation between the two areas. And I'm not sure, but this is one area which remained unexplored. Number two, I think you talked about the defense cooperation.
Yes.
Already, India is holding hand of Bangladesh. If I recall correctly, there was a line of credit worth $500 billion, which was given to Bangladesh. And now both the countries have attained a sense of maturity. But what I feel as an analyst, that India should ensure that with a huge potential of the defense equipment production capacity with India, like a number of ordnance factories, it is manufacturing with the indigenous know-how about the missiles, tanks, and everything, that Bangladesh should be engaged. In case Bangladesh goes for some military hardware, defense cooperation, India should be the first choice. That is my view on the defense cooperation. Other, you haven't mentioned, I think you slipped out inadvertently, is that the security cooperation along with defense with India. When I talked about security, and this has been my forte in my profession, is that that needs more focus, security bilateral cooperation between the two. When I say security, to spell it out more specifically, it is like exchange of hard time intelligence between the two countries in a very institutionalized manner, in a manner in which preventive information in advance is received by both the countries, both are capable of neutralizing threats in the area of terrorism, in these days in the area of cyber security, radicalization. In so many, Bangladesh is afflicted by that. But I must say here, Bangladesh has done extremely well since 1st July 2016, when the last major terror strike struck in Dhaka Artisan Bakery. Ever since, they have a well-oiled machine and nothing major has happened. Same with India. So now both have come of age in combating terror. But having said this, there should be no room for any complacency. So they should further collaborate on this area. Other than defense cooperation, there should be a mechanism of a very dynamic and robust security cooperation between the two countries.
Yes, absolutely. And just for more clarity on this, defense is an important part of our cooperation with Bangladesh. We have in recent years signed an agreement on the defense cooperation with Bangladesh. Now, in this particular visit, what more can we expect in this area?
Well, we have not heard about anything specific which is going to be. I would feel that India should either openly or otherwise should try to ensure in that cooperation that Indian armament should go to Bangladesh. If you recall, in 2016, Bangladesh bought some Chinese submarines from China. That led to our defense minister, then late Sri Manohar Parrikar, to air dash to Dhaka and to see if Bangladesh was coming to China. So I expect here, we need not be alarmed by that if it is buying. And to update you, barely 40 minutes ago, there was a statement by advisor to Sheikh Hasina, that is Gohar Rizvi, who is a confidant, and supposed to be pro-India. He said that even if we buy anything from China, even if defense equipment, it will not be at the cost of India. It is only for investment purposes and the development purposes. There's nothing to be alarmed about. So this is an assurance coinciding with Prime Minister Modi's arrival. So I guess these things need to be incorporated in the Defense Cooperation Pact if something is to move forward today itself.
Yes, sir, and connectivity will also be given special focus in this meet. Prime Minister Modi will likely sign pacts in sectors like railways, border infrastructure. Now, there is, of course, what can you tell us about those particular areas?
Well, I can tell you that the rail, air, riverine connectivity is absolutely on the anvil. They are on the cards and they are working. If you have noticed, on as early as 9th of March this year, barely 15 days ago, a bridge was inaugurated, this Maitri Bridge, or a friendship bridge, by Prime Minister Modi, which is over Feni, and it connects Bangladesh. So the things are already in progress. Now we are thinking of something big. When I say we in Bangladesh and India, say trilateral connections, Thailand, Myanmar, India, these. Then linking with Bhutan. Then the ports and transshipments from Mongla and Chittagong ports in Bangladesh for facilitating benefits to the northeastern Indian states. So these linkings are extremely important. The signing, the things have already begun. The train, from Dhaka to Calcutta, there are trains. From Jessore, now Agartala is also taken. Anybody from Delhi, if you want to travel to Agartala, you don't have to go via Rithik. Via Akhoda, you can reach Agartala. So the connectivity is a huge thing. And this will also encourage, if I may say, people-to-people contacts between the two countries.
Absolutely.
So both the countries, from the friendship point of view, become much closer than before. That is the significance of the connectivity, whether in land or through the sea routes.
All right, sir. Just one more thing before we let you go. Now, 2 Indian naval ships, that is INS Kalish and INS Medha, visited Mongla port of Bangladesh. Now, this also, I believe, is part of the connectivity that we were just talking about. And you mentioned the 500 million line of credit. Could you just explain that for us once more?
Well, I would know absolutely readily about the details of that because that's not my area of expertise. But I guess by judging by the things as they are going, they are absolutely in place, and Bangladesh will be appropriating the credit much to its advantage and not at the cost of India. This much I can analyze.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining us with all those inputs. We will be tracking this very closely. Thank you for your time. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.